This is a foundation question on disease. Pause the video here, have a go at those questions. When you're ready, press play again, and I'll go through the answers and how you can easily arrive at them. So, question 4 starts with read the following passage, and one of those things that we don't often do is to read the information in the question before we start answering. We tend to go to the question and then try and read backwards. It's much easier for your brain if you can force yourself to read the part of the question at the beginning first of all. Now, this is, as we've said, quite hard to do. So one of the best things to do is to underline. It doesn't matter what you underline. The point is you're slowing yourself down to be able to read that information so it can help you better answer those questions that follow it. So, one of the deadliest diseases seems to be making a comeback in Britain. We know this question therefore is about disease. We've learnt about disease. Doctors are alarmed at the rising number of cases of tuberculosis, TB. Okay, never heard of TB. I've been taught about salmonella, I've been taught about measles, HIV, tobacco mosaic virus, I've been taught about rose black spot, I've been taught about gonorrhea and malaria, but not TB. It can only use TB in a question, therefore, if it gives you lots of information about it. So we're not worrying about that at this point. TB is caused by microbes called bacteria. Okay, so it's a bacterial infection. My other bacterial infections I know are salmonella and gonorrhea. When people carrying the TB bacteria cough or sneeze, the TB bacteria gets into the air. Other people may then breathe them in. All important points. So let's go to the questions. A, which organs will be infected first when someone breathes in the TB bacteria? It doesn't actually tell us in our passage up at the top. However, if we breathe in, the first organ it is going to come to, it's going to go through the mouth, it's going to go down the trachea, it's going to go into the bronchi, which are in the lungs. So lungs are our first answer. Very straightforward. There's one mark just to check that it doesn't want any more description, and we've got lungs. Name 2 other diseases, I've got to remember this 2 business, that are caused by a bacteria. We talked about that when we were talking about bacteria up here, and that's simply a case of knowing your syllabus. The AQA syllabus, you need to know about salmonella, and you need to know about gonorrhea. Name 1 other group of microbes that often causes diseases. We've got 3 types of microbes that cause disease. We've got bacteria, which they've stated in the question. We've got viruses, we've got fungi. Let me take that back. We've got 4 groups of microbes, and we've got protoctists. So we could have any of those other ones. I'm going to choose viruses to put down on my answer. D, suggest. Now, suggest questions are quite tricky questions. Suggest means my teacher hasn't told me about the answer to this question. I have to work it out myself. It is not something that I would find in my revision guide. So it's using the information you've got and your brain to work out a plausible answer. So suggest why people who live in overcrowded areas are more likely to catch TB than people who live in less crowded areas. Well, with the more crowded areas, there are more people. If there are more people, they are more likely to come into contact with someone who has the disease, and therefore the disease will be passed on than in less crowded areas. We want to put it in a bullet point. So People in overcrowded areas are more likely to come into contact with infected people. Just to show you what the mark scheme looks like, I'm going to put that underneath. If you want to check it, then pause the video and make sure you've got all of your answers right. Thank you very much.